Welcome to Church Farm. Have you ever thought where your bread comes from? Probably it comes from a supermarket, but in the past it would have had a very different history. Here at Church Farm we will show you the whole story of making bread, right back from grain. Life was very different in the past. Schools would be different, lines of chairs. Children would only go to school until age 11. Often they would be working on the land during the holidays. Harvest time was always busy, but in fact threshing wouldn't always happen at the same time as the corn was being cut. This allowed threshing to be done throughout the winter months. Steaming the traction engine would happen early in the morning to allow it to get up ahead of steam ready for work. Wheat would be brought in stooks on a wagon from either a barn or from the fields if it was done at that time. It was always important to keep the wheat dry. If it got wet, it would become mouldy and become inedible very rapidly. Once corn had been threshed, it would be stored in sacks that would be filled at the back of a threshing drum. A drum is a bit like half of a modern combine harvester today, which separates any grain from any straw. The steam engine itself is the power unit behind all this. It turns high pressure steam through pistons into motion. The flywheel produces power and converts it along a belt to the drum itself, which operates a great deal of machinery. The engine has a complex set of pistons, valves and a governor to ensure that the power is delivered smoothly. The drum itself relies on even more belts to power different parts of the machinery within it. It's named after a circular drum, a bit like one in a washing machine that spins round very fast and starts to separate the grain from the straw. It's hard work and you'll have many people working on a drum. Straw is forked up onto the top of the drum, where one man will cut the binding on each sheath with a knife before passing it to another who feeds it into the top of the drum. It's hard work, particularly on a hot day, and the hours are very long. A drum like this one would get through several tons or trailer loads of straw in a day, producing an awful lot of corn. This shows early industrial mechanisation of farming, where things did get a lot easier, but naturally it was still hard work. At the back of the drum you can see grain going into the Hessian sacks. The drum itself has many different bits of working machinery inside it. It has grids that go to and fro to separate the chaff or sharp bits that surround each grain of corn from the corn itself, and straw as well. The work is dusty and hard and very unpleasant at times. The straw, after coming out of the back of the drum, is then put into a baler. Here we have an old 1950s tractor powering the baler, rocking to and fro as it compacts the straw inside. Square straw bales are slowly squeezed out the back of the baler and stacked onto a trailer. Straw itself has traditionally been used by farmers to provide bedding for their animals. However, today many farmers don't keep stock as well as growing crops, so it's considered a waste product and often thrown away or disposed of elsewhere. The drum you see here today was actually built in Lincoln. Lincoln was a major centre of industry supporting agriculture through the production of machinery such as this, as well as traction engines. It was also a place where the tank was first developed, although it later went to America before coming back to Britain for the First World War. At the end of the day, when all the corn is finally been threshed, the engine will be shut down and the workers would normally go and have a very well-earned pint at the expense of the farmer. Things were different in the Victorian era, certainly harder, perhaps simpler, but very different to today.